Hey there folks, what's up, and welcome back to another video on Vibe FM. As much as celebrities win hearts of people, they have dark sides to them too. Regardless of the dire money needs, this business always leads to predictably gruesome consequences. This is a list of the top 10 rappers who used to sell drugs once for majorly dismal reasons. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on anything. Alright, let's go ahead and get into it. Number 10, 50 Cents. At the bottom of the list, first off, we have 50 Cent. I remember loving his songs when I was a teen. It was a different vibe. Well, coming back to the point, like the common stereotype of drug dealers, things were not so good at home for 50 Cent. He had a turmoiled upbringing. His mother, Sabrina, who sold drugs in Queens, was murdered when he was just 8 years old. A major trauma like this at such a young age, losing the person you love the most really got to him. Losing guidance at the time he needed it most, losing hope of all sorts. He then resorted to living with his grandmother and then saw very tough times. He struggled to provide for himself, and his only way of earning money was by selling drugs. He was shot 9 times by an associate of his in the drug dealing business. The drug dealing business is a very dirty business. As much as it is glorified, it can quite literally be lethal. People can do anything for money, and when there is a desperate need for money, no one thinks twice before doing anything like that. Number 9. Frank Ocean. The very famous musician Frank Ocean admitted to having a past where he sold drugs in high school. He emphasized he did not have a father figure and lacked the proper discipline and guidance that most people are blessed with. This is very saddening, and there should be a proper guidance for teens that are in a similar condition of Frank Ocean. To prevent such bright people from getting involved in dirty businesses like drug dealing, he's a very renowned artist now, worked very hard to get where he is. He's so largely famous at this point, so blessed to have his career set in place even after his troubled past. He has penned songs for big names like Beyonce and Jay-Z, with whom people would die to work with. Lucky Frank Ocean, he did deserve it all, after all the hard work he did. Number 8. Mark Wahlberg. Mark has owned his bad boy image. He also had a troubled life at home as a child, and instead of following in the footsteps of his brother, who enjoyed his career at the New Kids on the Block, Mark decided to go on a different way in his life. He began dealing drugs and later got addicted to cocaine. He even beat up 2 innocent men as well somewhere down the road. Number 7. T.I. Before his career as a rapper, he sold drugs in Atlanta, Georgia. He was arrested in the 90s for owning illegal substances, and in 2007, he went on to explain that he did this to provide for his family and had limited options for income at the time. Number 6. Kid Rock. Kid Rock started relatively early. He joined a gang called Best Friends at the age of 15. This, however, had a fortunate, safer outcome, where a man, be it an angel, sought these kids and asked them to join his band called the Beast Crew, where Kid Rock performed in many gigs. Number 5. Snoop Dogg. Now, according to Cameron Diaz, who attended the Long Beach Polytechnic High School, as the rapper, Snoop Dogg smoked weed way too early in his teens. She told Lopez Tonight how he was the weed dealer of their school. Even she herself admitted to having bought weed from him back then. He still holds a medical record which allows him to use marijuana for medical purposes. Number 4. Fat Joe. This guy started selling drugs because of bad influences in his teens in the South Bronx, and now according to him, the idea of a hip-hop star involved him dealing drugs. He was nicknamed Joe Crack during his drug dealing days, and he wanted to be like the rest of the famous rappers who were majorly selling drugs. He had a revelation though, thankfully, that he was not going to progress his career in music by selling drugs, and within months, he came out clean and did what he loved doing, making music. Number 3. Tim Allen. He was a stand-up comedian before 1978. That is when he was arrested for being in possession of 1.4 pounds of cocaine while flying out of Kalamazoo. People in the earlier times were oblivious, risking drugs at an international airport. Even my 9-year-old sister is smarter than that. He pled guilty and decided to rat out his drug dealers in order to lower his charges or maybe even completely get rid of them. However, he did serve his due time, 2 years in the Federal Correctional Institute. He went back to his career as a comedian and gradually got his life back together and winning over his audience just like old times. Number 2. Jay-Z. He's a big success and a big name in the industry now, but 25 years ago, the real name, Sean Carter, was a teenage boy, struggling to make ends meet. He sold drugs to get by in Brooklyn. He was known to sell everything from cocaine to marijuana, and he ran his luck in music too side by side. Recorded his own CDs and sold them from his car. It all ended up with him being signed by a renowned record label, and it sold 1.5 million copies, and he became a big hit in the US. And then, he became a huge success, as we can clearly see, and all was forgotten and forgiven. Number 1. The Notorious B.I.G. This guy, also known as Biggie or Christopher Wallace, much like the others on this unfortunate list, sold drugs when he was in his early teenage years. He needed the money desperately to keep him and his mother from starving. It's not always the bad influence in these cases. His mother raised him as a single parent and worked rigorously, juggling multiple jobs to make ends meet. He did not prefer a low-class life, however, and took up different corners of the city, where he and his friends would sell drugs, mainly cocaine. His mother kicked him out of her place because that was not the child she was going to raise. She was not working her life to the bones for a kid that would end up in jail, and that is exactly what happened, and he served 9 months for all of his illegal involvements. Never ever does this dangerous road lead to something getting mass recognition and the love of the people. It's always a bad idea dealing drugs, a dangerous path, and I might sound like a high school principal, but that is exactly what it is. Out of their amazing careers, these rappers gave catharsis to people who channeled their emotions through their music. For some of these people are inspirations, but we do need to be vigilant as to what sort of people they really are before being inspired by them. This brings us to the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then let us know by liking the video. Stick around for more amazing content as well, as we'll be seeing you soon in another video. And until then, take care and goodbye.